Hey everyone, welcome to the Help for the Holidays webinar. I wanted to apologize, first of all, that technology was not my friend today. I don't know what happened, but Zoom wasn't letting anybody into the live meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and record this, and then you are now watching it. So hopefully you got the recording. And then I also attached to this email the freebie that I'm going to talk about here in a second. And then stay tuned to the end because I do have a special offer for y'all that goes away Friday, December 1st at midnight. So my name is Heather Dillard, and a little bit about me, a little bit about my story, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of teaching. And then since we don't have people here live, we can't do a Q&A, but know that you can always reach out to me on email or social media, or of course, schedule a one-on-one coaching session with me. The stuff that I'm going to cover today is pretty high level. So I would go into more specifics and more things of like how it affects your specific health issues in the one-on-one coaching session. So today's just to give you an overview of what is possible. And then when we meet one-on-one, we can go into more detail as far as what that looks like for you and your life and your situation and how to get healing that way. So I am very excited and thank you for signing up. And I look forward to working with you soon. So to start off, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my background, just so you kind of know where I come from. I am a licensed professional counselor, so I am officially a licensed therapist, but I have left the traditional counseling field. I've had private practice before. I've been in the counseling field for 11 to 12 years, but I am transitioning. I haven't had a private practice for a couple of years. I've been doing other things, but now that I'm back in this field, I'm doing holistic coaching, which if you wonder what is holistic coaching, that is okay, because that is the number one question that I get from people. And so basically holistic coaching just looks at your body as a whole, instead of a lot of times with traditional talk therapy, you work from the brain down. So the brain is important and your thoughts are important. So not saying that that's important, not important, and not saying that mindset is not addressed in holistic coaching, but we don't always start with the brain. We start with the body. So a lot of my approach to holistic coaching is going to be learning to listen to your body. I specifically work with women who struggle with autoimmune disorders or chronic anxiety, because a lot of times the anxiety causes the autoimmune system to be out of whack, and the out of whack autoimmune system causes anxiety, and they kind of go hand in hand. So I work with people that have those struggles and learn to listen to your own body, and then you can learn to heal yourself. So when I was 15, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis, and I've had gut issues ever since I was young. And that has led on a 20 plus year journey of learning how the body functions, but also how the body can heal itself too. So some of that is through food, but some of it is also through the nervous system. And a lot of this, I feel like it's almost like talking to my 20-year-old self. I wish somebody had told me that you have some control. You are not powerless. You are not a prisoner to your chronic illness. A lot of times, if we have lived with a chronic illness for a really long time, we are aware of our bodies in the sense that we tolerate our bodies. We are aware that we are in pain all of the time. We are resentful because our bodies can't do the things that other bodies around us can do. So that's our view of our bodies, is like, oh, either I want to ignore it, I want to numb out and just forget my body altogether, or I'm just annoyed with it. And so part of holistic coaching is learning to listen to our bodies, learning what are the messages my body's telling me right now? What does my body need? And then using the nervous system to help our bodies physically heal. And it also, as a bonus, heals our mind as well. So, like I said, this is going to be a very general overview. I will go into more specifics and the science behind a lot of stuff in the one-on-one coaching sessions. But to get us started, Let's see. And I do have my notes, so I will have to be looking at my notes. I want you to be thinking about, though, and since we don't have the chat, you can respond back to this email and respond to some of these questions if you want, because I would love to hear a little bit more about you and your situation. Where in your body, just think about it for a second, where in your body do you feel stress the most? Like, where does your body store stress? So it could be in your shoulders, like tension in your shoulders and neck. It could be in your gut, in your stomach. It could be, like a heaviness on your chest. It could be headaches or pain in your head. It could be lower back, kidney issues, things like that. So a lot of times, depending on, and also depending on just the emotion that we're feeling, what it is specifically, our body will store it, or we will feel it in certain places in our body. So instead of just ignoring that or just shaking it off or trying to just blaze on with life and just keep going, stop. And when your body feels like that, stop for a second and be like, okay, well, what is my body trying to tell me right now? What do I need? And sometimes it's just intentional movement, which we will talk about here in a second. I will walk you through a few movement exercises, and then you can join as you are able. So obviously, when we do movement exercises, if something hurts, don't do it. But if it's just uncomfortable or just kind of feels weird, just try it anyway, and then you can go on. But we're gonna we'll do that here in a second. I'll give you warning ahead of time. So where in your body do you usually feel stress? So think about that. And then, as I was saying, holistic coaching, it starts with your body, not necessarily starts with your mind, but that doesn't mean that your thoughts aren't going to be addressed. So in holistic coaching sessions, we might talk about what you're eating. We might talk about daily intentional movement, maybe not even necessarily like cardio exercise, but just moving your body intentionally every day. And then also, a big thing about holistic coaching is, and if you've followed me on social media, you'll have seen some of my posts about this, is it's learning to move the stress and the trauma through our bodies. So stress often gets stored in our bodies, and then we don't move around enough or do intentional movement enough to like help it move through. So that also includes our emotions. A lot of times we stuff our emotions, and then we either explode at those around us, or it just stores up in us and then causes us to be sick. So like, how many of y'all have gone through stressful life circumstances and then a week later you're just sick and you have to stay in bed or whatever? It's your body's way of shutting down, because your body's trying to tell you, hey, I need rest. So, but there are ways to move the stress through your body. And yes, it involves actual movement, but it's not as hard as you think. A lot of it's very, very, very simple. So I don't want to get ahead of myself, because I do want to practice with you, but we're not going to get there yet. So hold tight. I want to share with you something really cool. I'm going to share my screen here. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to introduce you to the vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve, in case you don't know about it, it is it's a bunch of nerves, but in conjunction, it's all called the vagus nerve. It goes from the bottom of your brain here to all the way around. Vagus is Latin for wandering, and so it wanders through, and it touches, the vagus nerves touch every major organ in your body, including your gut, including your lungs, including your pancreas and your stomach and your heart. So there are basic, simple exercises or things that you can do every single day to activate the vagus nerve. So it touches your vocal cords. You can see that here. But think about your vocal cords, or if you play an instrument, when you pluck a string, if you play any stringed instruments, if you pluck a string, it vibrates, right? And so in your voice box, it vibrates when you sing or hum or talk. So when you activate the vagus nerve, which we're going to go through how to do that here in a second, it vibrates, and it starts touching all those major organs, and it starts healing them. It starts making them work the way that they're supposed to. So part of calming the nervous system down, because the vagus nerve is part of the nervous system, part of calming the nervous system down means getting things to where they operate the way that they are supposed to. So I have another question for you to think about. Do you tend to get high stress, like anxiety, extra energy, where you're like, whoa? Or do you tend to go into shutdown or freeze mode where you just don't want to do anything? You're so stressed, like you're thinking about it, like your brain's still going, but you just can't do anything. Or you go into complete shutdown and just crawl into bed and don't do anything. So where do you do fight, flight, or freeze? That you'll be familiar with that. Fight, flight, or freeze. Which do you tend to do most of the time when you get stressed? When we activate the vagus nerve, it helps regulate that. So regulation does not necessarily mean calming the nervous system down. It could, especially if you're a high stress person. But if you tend to be a shutdown kind of person, the vagus nerve helps you get the energy you need to keep going, to move forward, to do the things that you have to do. So regulation means either whether you're up here or down here, regulation of the nervous system means you get back into optimal, the way that your body is supposed to function. So that means nervous system, way it's supposed to function, your organs, the way it's supposed to function, your gut, the way it's supposed to function, your brain and your thoughts and your ability to focus, the way it's supposed to happen. So that is the importance of the vagus nerve, but it is not outside of your power. So like I said, when I was, well, actually, I don't know if I said it on this webinar, but I've told lots of people about it. When I was growing up and had digestive issues, a lot of times I felt powerless. I wish somebody had told me at 20 years old that, or 15 or 16, that I had some control over healing my body. Like I tolerated my body and I managed it, but I didn't learn until just a few years ago that like you actually do have control. Like there are physical things you can do to help your body out. So that is part of the vagus nerve. So when we activate the vagus nerve, then our bodies start to heal. So I'm going to have everyone stand up, and you might have seen this practice if on Facebook. That may have been one of the reasons that you started following me, was the exercise on Facebook that I have of moving your body. But we're going to practice that right now because that one's a very simple one and basic one, but it covers your whole body in like 3 minutes. So I just realized I can't really stand up because I have earphones in and there's noise in my apartment. So I need to keep my earphones in. But so you can do this standing up. You can try to do it sitting down. It's when we get to the ankles and the legs and stuff, you won't be able to do that, but I'll walk you through it and I'll talk you through it. So as you're watching this, you can pause it if you need to, or whatever. But the reason that I want us to walk through a physical exercise is because the stress tends to get stuck in our bodies. When we do just physical exercises, like moving our bodies, and especially our joints, because the stress will build up in our joints, it helps to move that stress or those emotions through our body. And it doesn't mean that we won't have them. So I'm not saying never have emotions or never get stressed, because that's just not life. Life is stressful. But when it happens, we can move through it and we can continue to heal ourselves instead of just letting life badger us and beat us down. So if you will stand up straight, and then you just take a deep breath and think about that question that I gave you earlier. Where in your body do you store stress? So do you feel tension right now? Do you feel like you're storing stress, somewhere right now? So just pay attention to that, take a deep breath, and then you can start to move your wrists. So you can, and you can do it. You don't have to do it the way I'm doing it. Just move your wrists. So you can do this, you can do this, you can flick your wrist. I do that a lot, just flicking my wrist, or you can just move it in circles. And then you can do your elbows. So you can do like this, or you can do this. So like you can do it however you want, just as long as you're moving that part of your body. And then you do your shoulders, of course. So you do backwards, and then you can go forwards. And you can make this last as long as you want. I'm kind of going through them fast just so that I can hit everything, but just do it how it feels good. Turn on some good music and just do it how it feels good. And then of course you do your head, and you can go both directions on your head. And then when you're doing some of this, then you can like actually move your whole body. If you want to, like when you're moving your head around, if you want to move your torso around too, and just like I do this a lot when I'm standing up. Let's see if I can stand up. I'm not sure with the earphones. Should have thought of that before I started recording. Okay, this will work. All right, so yeah, if you're standing up, then you can actually move around like your whole body when you're doing your neck. And then you're gonna do your hips, so you can move your hips in a circle, and then you're gonna do your ankles and your knees. And if you need a walkthrough, if you want to see what that looks like, you can look on my social media page. You'll see on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see a video of me doing this. So, but that is one super, super easy way to just move the stress through your body. I go through the 5 senses when I meet with you one-on-one. There, you can actually go through the 5 senses, and you can do touch, breathing, smells, sight, sounds, and then using your voice, humming and singing and things like that. There are so many different ways to activate your vagus nerve and regulate your system and get your nervous system back in line, get your body, your gut back online. But I'm not going to go through that on this webinar because I want to go with it through it with you on the one-on-one coaching sessions. And then also that way we can pick the thing about the holistic coaching and these practices that I have you do is there's a bunch of them for a reason, because not all of them will fit you depending on maybe your mobility or things that hurt and things that are affecting you, or just in general things that don't feel good in your body. You might do an exercise and be like, oh, nope, that didn't feel very good. And then you'll do another exercise and be like, oh, I feel very relaxed right now. Or, oh, I feel energized. Now I have energy. And so, but there's a lot of different ways to do that. So the cool thing about holistic coaching is like, I get to present to you a lot of different options, and we'll get to talk about it in our one-on-one coaching sessions. But then when you come back and meet with me again at the next session, we can talk about, okay, well, what worked for you? What felt good? What did you practice every single day? Because every hour practically I'm doing something about regulating my vagus nerve, whether it's humming or just loud sighs. A lot of times your body's, if you're a sigher, your body is trying to regulate itself. So if you're like, that actually just let yourself do it. If somebody looks at you weird, that's okay. The exhale is one of the number one ways that you can calm your body, is doing long exhales. And then also the humming or singing or the loud sighing, like using your vocal cord, because that activates your vagus nerve. That is one of the biggest ways that you can just immediately calm down. So I wanted to share with y'all a quick freebie real fast. One of my very favorite ones, because it basically walks you through a holistic coaching session in 2 pages. Like, it's amazing. But before I copy that, I'm going to, oh, I forgot that we're not live, or this is recorded. Okay, I am going to add the MindBody Toolkit to this email. And so you'll be able to download it, print it off, and save it to your phone or your computer or whatever. So I will do that. I have that in my notes. But I did want to invite you to the holistic coaching sessions. So you've heard me talk about the one-on-one sessions. Tomorrow, I will send you an email about all the specifics. So you can think about it, but I have one, you can schedule one-on-one coaching sessions just individually at a time. So that's the most flexible option. The option with the most value is I have a bundle of 4 sessions. So one session is $89 for a 50-minute session. And then a bundle of 4 is 4 50-minute sessions that you can schedule out. We'll work on how to schedule that out if you want to do it weekly or every other week or however you want to do that. But when you buy the bundle, it is only $75 per coaching session for the bundle. And so you'd pay for all 4 at once, but it is a lower price than the one-on-one. And then just for the next few hours through midnight on Friday, December 1st, I am offering y'all specifically a 30-minute coaching session. So if you want, if you just need a taste and you're just like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting, but I'm not sure. And I don't think I can do 50 minutes with Heather. And I don't know if I want to commit to that, just do a 30-minute session. So that is going to be $49 for a 30-minute session. And then you would just schedule it for some time in the month of December. So I will put that link here in the email also. It won't be in this email. It will be in the one tomorrow. So this is Friday night that this is going out. I mean, Thursday night that this is going out. And then, so Friday morning, so check your inbox tomorrow. I didn't want to overload y'all with a bunch of stuff. So in this email, I've got this recording and your freebie, the Mind Body Toolkit. And then this info just verbally about the sessions. And then I will send you the other sessions in tomorrow's email. I just didn't want to put a whole bunch of stuff in the email. But the 30-minute session is $49. The normal 50-minute session is $89, or you can get your bundle of 4. So each session is $75, so that's a total of $300 for that. So I am super, super excited to offer this to y'all, and y'all are first in line because you signed up for this webinar. And so I will, if you have any questions, you can always respond to this email, reply back, and I will personally respond back to you. You can always reach out at Facebook or Instagram, Restored Holistic Coaching. And then I hope that some of y'all will jump onto the coaching sessions, and I'll be able to meet you face to face and get to work with you through that. I hope that even just the little short practice, I knew this time would go by quickly, but I hope that this little short practice helps show you, like, that's one thing that you could do to help calm your body down. And I hope that after you did that exercise that you feel more relaxed and you feel like, oh, I feel better. Or if you tend to be in shutdown mode, I hope maybe you got a little bit of energy, where you're like, okay, I can move around now, I'm good. There is more where that came from, and I'm super excited to open up that world to you. So I look forward to meeting with y'all one-on-one. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. And I look forward to seeing you soon.